In this video, I'm going to show you how to do some Spanish GCSE in translation, English to Spanish, and the topic area is school. So if you're struggling a little bit with the translation, hopefully these little tips are going to be useful to you. So without further ado, let's get going. So, number one, I go to school by bike. Now I've translated this as voy al colegio en bici. So hopefully you're all familiar with the word voy from the verb ir. Al colegio means to school or to the school, en bici by bike. So if we turn this into the past tense, I went to school by bike, this would be fui al colegio en bici. And of course what you might have is alternative modes or methods of transport. So you might go en bicicleta or a pie or en coche con mi madre. So we're just playing with little alternatives here, but the one that I've got on the screen, I go to school by bike, voy al colegio en bici. So that's number one. Number two, there is no bullying at my school. And I've translated that as no hay acoso escolar en mi colegio. And as you can see, I've broken it down into three separate bits. The first bit, no hay. Hay means there is or there are. No hay means there isn't or there aren't. So, super useful, super important, no hay. Second section here, acoso escolar. Hopefully you're familiar with this vocabulary point, this vocabulary detail, and the school topic. And there we go, en mi colegio, in my school or at my school. So, there is no bullying at my school. Translation, no hay acoso escolar en mi colegio. Moving down quite nicely now to number three. I play football for the school team. So firstly, we've got juego, I play. Now, hopefully you know what this is in the past tense or in the preterite tense. It would actually be jugué. But here we've just got the present tense, I play, juego. Then we've got football in Spanish, juego al fútbol, an expression hopefully with which you're really familiar. Juego al fútbol, there's the word for, para. We won't go into much about, because there is another word for, which is por, but in this particular case it's para. And then finally, the school team, el equipo del colegio. There's the word for team, there's of the school. So we put it all together. Juego al fútbol para el equipo del colegio. Fantastic. So let's keep going through. Number four. Now we're moving from the present tense in my first three examples now, and we're going to the past tense. First thing that is indicating this is, of course, is the word yesterday. Then we've got the past in English. Today I go, yesterday I went. So yesterday I went to school by car. The weather was good. So we've got another past tense here. And I've translated this as Ayer fui al colegio en coche. There's the key word yesterday. There is the irregular past tense of the verb ir. So fui al colegio. Nice little block phrase. If you learn that as a block phrase, fui al colegio. By block phrase, I mean everything all together. That would be really helpful. And here we go again. Whoops, we've got alternative forms of transport. Whoops, we're going backwards and forwards here a little bit. It's steadied up a bit now. So, en coche. Ayer fui al colegio en coche. But then, of course, you could say en autobús, by bus. En tren, by train. A pie, on foot. So there we've got my base sentence with one or two options. And then we've got the weather was good. Hopefully you're really good on whether in the present and the past tense. Here we've got hizo. Hizo buen tiempo. This is the past of the verb hacer. So in the present tense it's hace buen tiempo. In the preterite it's hizo buen tiempo. So there we've got it, hizo buen tiempo. Putting that all together, ayer fui al colegio en coche. Hizo buen tiempo. Okay, I like Spanish, it's my favourite subject. I'm sure it's your favourite subject. It's clearly my favourite subject. And here we go. Standard me gusta. Me gusta el español. Make sure you put the word the in front of Spanish. We don't have it in English, but in Spanish they use it. So, me gusta el español and es mi asignatura favorita. It's my favourite subject. And notice that the word favorita, well, perhaps two things to notice. Firstly, there's no U in here. And secondly, the favorita is agreeing with asignatura. Okay, so, me gusta el español, es mi asignatura favorita. So now we continue going down, and I'm going to speed up a little bit now. So, número 6, in my primary school, there was no uniform. Here we go. En mi escuela primaria, no había uniforme. There's the word for primary school. And what we're trying to use here is the imperfect tense. There was no uniform. So, había means there was or there were. No había, there wasn't or there weren't. So in this particular case, no había uniforme. There was no uniform. Super important word, this one, había. In fact, I'm going to stop now. I'm going to say it once, and I'd like you to repeat it. And if you feel a bit silly, it doesn't matter. Just repeat it. You can go, había. There you are. I heard you say it. Fantastic. Say it for me once again. Había. People of the internet, well done. I really heard that echoing out. Number 7. During these summer holidays, I'm going to a language school in Spain. So here we've got what we call the immediate future. And this is how I've put it into Spanish. Durante las vacaciones de verano, voy a ir a un colegio de idiomas. So, during the holidays, or literally the holidays of summer. But again, learn these things as block phrases and they'll come out a lot easier, both in your speaking and in your writing. So, durante las vacaciones de verano, voy a ir, I am going to go. And of course, if it's we are going to go, it would be vamos a ir. Okay, voy a ir a un colegio de idiomas. To, there's a keyword to, literally a school of languages. Okay, number 8. When I'm 18 years old, I will go to university. Now, this one I've translated as Cuando tenga 18 años, iré a la universidad. Now, if perhaps this looks a little bit funny and strange because you don't really recognize this A, don't worry. My strongest recommendation is that learn this as a block phrase. Cuando tenga 18 años. So I'd like you to repeat that after me. Cuando tenga 18 años. This is a high-scoring phrase. It's what we call the subjunctive. I wouldn't worry too much about that, but it's a high-scoring phrase that puts you right up in the top grades. So, cuando tenga 18 años, iré, that means I will go. And there's our friend ir, to go, with the ending E accent there. So, iré a la universidad. Running it all together. Cuando tenga 18 años, iré a la universidad. Perhaps one final point while we're going through here. See this word here ending in ity? Well, ity, the Spanish equivalent is idad. And all dads, and here comes a feeble joke, all dads are feminine. What do I mean by this? Any word ending in idad in Spanish, which corresponds to ity in English, is feminine. I'm going to give you 3 or 4 other words now ending in IDAD. And it's obvious what they mean because they're cognates. Here we go. La publicidad. La electricidad. La nacionalidad. So hopefully you found that little tip or language hack useful. Now let's go on to number 9. Moving along really quite quickly now. You are not allowed to run in the corridor. Standard sort of phrases that hopefully you've come across and you will have come across from the textbooks. So the first little expression here, no se permite, there we go, no se permite. There's to run, correr en el pasillo. Run that all together. No se permite correr en el pasillo. And then perhaps in the exam you might be asked to vary this a little bit. No se permite comer chicle comes to mind. You are not allowed to eat chewing gum and that sort of thing. Okay, so you're not allowed to run in the corridor. No se permite correr en el pasillo. And finally, número 10, my maths teacher is funny and very intelligent. So, mi profesora de matemáticas es cómica e inteligente. There's the word my, mi profesora. Now in this particular case, I know from the Spanish that the maths teacher is a female. In English we can't tell, but in Spanish we know that this maths teacher is a female. So, mi profesora de matemáticas es. Now, if we come over here, you can see my adjective has got an A on the end, and why? Because it's describing mi profesora. Mi profesora de matemáticas es cómica e inteligente. There's the word for intelligent. It begins with an I, and for that reason, the normal word for and, which is E, which is a Y, is actually changed to an E. Okay, so I'll just run through that once again. Mi profesora de matemáticas es cómica e inteligente. Hopefully you found that useful. Stick around. There's a lot more of these coming, which I hope you will find useful for revision purposes and for the whole of your success in GCSE Spanish. Hasta pronto, amigos míos.